said the morning was the best time.
For what?
Well, for the new baby. I mean, she said Turner's always cheerful around 8 or 9, right before his morning nap. I thought Alon would be the same way.
Well, I don't know if anybody's going to be too cheerful around here today. The two of them were up half the night trying to see who could out-yell who.
I suppose Turner's not used to having a roommate.
Well, that could be.
Oh.
I'll take it in here.
Oh.
So, hi,
listen,
Travis, how are you?
Wendy?
You want to read the paper while I tell Liza you're here?
Hello. Yes?
I'm sorry.
Yes,
I completely forgot what was on the front page.
Okay. It's all right.
No.
How is Brian?
Excellent
We've been
news,
very
but when is he
concerned
going to
about
be
him
announced
since we
officially?
heard.
He's broken up about the guy's daughter. You know,
I
she
see.
was there when he shot her father.
Yeah, well, that was very unfortunate. I understand how he'd be pretty broken up about it. I'm going to have to talk to him later on today.
Look, the committee did the
Good.
right thing. There's no doubt about
Because
it.
he's going to need all the friends he can get.
All right, boy. Thank you very much. All right. Well, that really gets my day off right. Martin, we got it.
What?
The landmark. The landmark status for the property that Kendall's been after. He can't touch it now.
Well, now, that's what I call good news.
And isn't it a shame that the owner of the Herald won't feel the same way?
You're a little rough on Emerson, weren't you?
Detective Emerson may have been working in the line of duty, but that girl's father is dead. And as far as I'm concerned, that's page 1.
Well, I sure hope this helps find her. She's very young to be out there on her own. Yeah. What did you hear? Is it official? I mean, is it a final decision, or is there any possibility that they're going to vote on it again? I see. Great. Well, that's just what I needed to hear today. Waterfront property is going to be a landmark after all.
Well, that's going to cramp your style.
Maybe. And then again, maybe not. Diane, get a hold of Warren Carter for me. Tell him I'd like to see him this morning. Within the hour. Thank you.
Oh, I'm supposed to have seen the art director over 10 minutes ago. I'll catch you later.
All right.
How dare you criticize the way I handled the Sintels and the baby when you did that to my son?
Morning.
Morning.
Ah. Is that how it's going to be tonight?
Tonight?
I'm taking you to dinner, remember?
Of course I do. I remember all things that are against my better judgment.
Well, I can't very well have you become the strong, silent type on the very night that we're supposed to go out on a date, now can I? I mean, on a date, conversation is supposed to flow. You're supposed to talk about art, music, and get to know one another. Isn't that how it's supposed to go? Well, isn't that how it went for you and Jack?
Where exactly are you, taking me? Or is a proper date not supposed to ask?
Oh, no, you can ask. That doesn't mean I have to tell you.
The only reason you can't tell me is you haven't figured it out for yourself yet.
No, I know where it is. I just don't want to spoil the surprise.
Sure, McCleary.
All right, I'll tell you. It's this little macrobiotic place, you see, and all the waiters dress up like Tibetan monks, and you have to take a vow of silence and sit on a hardwood floor, but the bean curd is to die for. It really
Sounds
good.
yummy.
Yeah.
Fine, you don't want to tell me, you don't have to tell me. But just do me a favor, okay? When this evening of, art and music and smiling is over with, can we just go back to being a couple of working stiffs again? I think that's where our true talents lie.
All right. I promise you, Sunshine, that after our date tonight, nothing but nothing will interfere with our efficiency.
Well, now, isn't that funny? I was just about to mention your efficiency myself.
Hiya, Mac.
Good morning, Mac.
Good morning.
What about our efficiency?
Well, it seems to be a little bit down lately. Too many loose ends, like the Slavin murder. Do you realize that you haven't come up with anything new in the past 2 weeks? I mean, we can't just drop it.
Well, we're not going to drop it. We keep on getting other assignments, like babies on doorsteps. No, really important stuff like that.
And you let that one slide right by, too. Have you even been back to the Centels since they brought the baby home from the hospital?
Baby hasn't been back with Centels for 24 hours yet.
I'm not going to argue with you two. You know what I mean.
Yeah. You mean that this baby thing is still top priority, right?
That's right.
Well, then maybe you'll tell us why Lloyd is taking such a personal interest in it.
Well, now, I'm sure that he's got his reasons. But whatever they are his reasons. And they've got nothing to do with you. So, why don't you get to work? Like now.
Did we just get called on the carpet?
Well, let's put it this way, Sunshine. I don't think that we're going to have to dream up any clever repartee for this evening. We'll have enough work to get us through coffee and dessert.
Oh, that's wonderful news. Joe is going to be thrilled. Oh, good. Coffee, everyone?
Does Joanne know about the decision yet?
I haven't been able to reach her.
Oh, she's been very busy helping Brian trying to find the missing girl.
Are you talking about that child in this morning's paper, the one whose father was shot?
Yes. My brother was the cop involved. He feels really awful.
Oh, I understand. Police work is the hardest work in the world.
You know what, Rusty, I'll try and call her when I get to the shelter. They probably have a number where she can be reached.
Wait a minute, you're going to the shelter today?
Well, yeah, I mean, Susie's away and Joe is with Brian. They need me more than ever.
Liza, this is the first day we have both of the babies in the house, and if last night was any indication...
Oh, last night was any indication, I'm going to get some heavy-duty earplugs. Don't let me give you any ideas.
Now, maybe we ought to think about a morning nap for these two. From what I hear, they created quite a row last night.
Only 6 or 7 hours worth, Kate.
Yeah, I'm going to bring you with. Is it all right, Liza?
Oh, definitely. Kate needs all the help she can get.
Thank you, Lindy.
Well, I'm going down to the club, too. I'll see you on later. Thank you.
All right, Marty, take care.
Bye-bye, Mark.
Bye-bye.
I guess I better be on my way as well.
I still don't believe it, Liza. Today of all days.
Well, look, Rusty, I explained the situation to you, darling. These kids can't just fend for themselves.
Well, why don't they get someone else?
Look, I have all the faith in the world in Kate. I think she could handle a whole nursery full of kids if she had to. And besides, Jimmy's going to be around, and if worse comes to worse, you're here.
Hey, now, wait a minute. I may have put a new computer in this house, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be home all the time. I still have to go to the office from time to time.
Well, if you're not here, you're not here. Kate will just have to handle it.
Mr. Centel?
Yes.
You have a phone call from Paris? All right, Jimmy. Tell him I'll be right there.
Yes, sir.
Liza, don't you think this is sort of a special situation? Until those babies get adjusted, you're needed here.
The children have Kate. The children at the shelter have no one. Their need is greater. Why don't you take your call? I'll talk to you later.
Liza.
What?
I really rather you didn't go.
Oh, come on, Stephanie. Our readers know that the police have to shoot in self-defense at times.
Self-defense was not the emphasis in this story, especially not when you put that picture next to that headline. Anybody who looks at this picture is just going to see a poor, terrified girl, and they're going to think that Detective Brian Emerson is a heartless brute.
That picture was the best choice we had. We would have been irresponsible if we had not run it. This is very possibly the best way we've got to find her, and that is, after all, what we want to do, isn't it?
Well, that's what Brian wants, but you never wrote that in the article, did you?
Well, maybe we can use that in a follow-up piece.
Maybe is going to be too late. I guess it's up to me to clear my son's name. I'm going to put him on the air this afternoon.
Fine.
He's going to make a personal plea to get that girl out of hiding.
I think that's just a wise and excellent idea.
I'm going to go back to the studio.
Stephanie, wait a minute. You haven't heard about the waterfront property yet, have you? You couldn't have.
What about it?
We lost it. The council decided last night.
Well, what do you want from me? Want me to cry my eyes out?
I just thought possibly you might be interested in knowing.
I cannot deal with this now, Lloyd.
I understand. Here's another angle that I'm going to try. As far as the land for the hotel is concerned, I might be able to work something out this afternoon.
You can use any angle you want to. Just let Lay off my son. You and your newspaper both.
Thanks.
I figured you could use it. Did you get to bed at all last night?
No.
Yeah, looking for the kid the whole time?
I'm going to keep looking until I find him.
Everybody had the same idea. How about something to eat with that?
Oh, no, thanks, Joe. Not now.
I was just about to tell Brian, I think this interview today is really going to help find this girl. You're going to get a chance to talk right to her, Brian. You can tell her there's nothing to be afraid of now.
You really think she's going to buy that from a guy who just took her father away from her?
Hey, Brian, don't do this to yourself.
I just want to find her, that's all.
Good morning. I didn't expect to see you here.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I have a business proposition for Mr. Kendall.
You can forget it. I told him if he ever so much as talked business with you, he could forget about my partnership.
Seems he's had some second thoughts on that.
Oh, Lloyd's not going to sever his relationship with me just because of the likes of you.
Well, I have a legitimate business proposition for him.
You wouldn't know what the word legitimate meant. You're a criminal. You're a petty thug in a three-piece suit.
You're an authority on this today, aren't you? Apparently your trigger-happy son made the headlines again.
Brian is 100 times the man you will ever be.
He doesn't have the capital I have, though.
Neither do you.
Oh, not today, but I will. And as soon as I get it, Stephanie, it's going to go a long way in supporting your daughter in the style to which she's accustomed.
Don't you ever mention Wendy's name to me again.
She's going to come back to me. Pretty soon she's going to realize that I was telling the truth about you. And she's going to realize that she's going to come running right back into my arms.
Over my dead body.
Oh, Stephanie, don't do anything drastic. I'd hate to be denied the opportunity of calling you Mom.
Now, almost might not be quite close enough.
If you want to build a hotel on the riverfront, Kendall, you better snap it up. Or else somebody else will.
Well, are you finally ready to move on this?
I have a very firm option on the property I can offer to you within, I'd say, 2 weeks at the outside.
When you have it locked in, I'll be ready to talk about the money.
Fine, fine. Just as long as your partner isn't planning on blocking the sale at the last moment.
I beg your pardon?
Stephanie Wyatt. She seems to be under the impression she can cut out on you if you go into business with me.
Oh, well, I'm not exactly going into business with you. I mean, this is a one-time sale, first and last.
She may not see it that way.
Will you let me worry about Stephanie, all right?
Well, if she does cut out on you, I'm available. I would think a partnership between you and me might be very interesting.
Mr. Carter, there are two things I think you should know about me. One is I am totally satisfied with my partnership with Stephanie Wyatt. And I intend not to allow that to end. And the other is, I think it's highly unlikely that we will do business on any kind of regular basis. This land situation is a one-shot deal.
We'll see, Mr. Kendall. We'll see.
Hey, nervous?
I'm too tired to be nervous.
Yeah, you know what you're gonna say?
Well, I don't know, Wendy. I'm going to be as honest as I can. I'm going to tell the girl I'm sorry and take it from there. I don't have a script.
I'm sorry. Guess it was a stupid question.
No, it's not a stupid question. I'm just a little touchy, that's all.
It's okay.
Listen, you being here, it really helps. I appreciate it.
It's the least I can do. You've been so good to me the last few weeks. I wanted to be here. You know, I was thinking this morning how you and I and Mom have gotten so close.
Yeah, we have.
I went to see Baby alone this morning. You know, the one Travis and Liza are taking care of.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, Brian. She seems so different, tiny as she is. She seems peaceful. Now that she's out of the hospital in a real home. Like she knows that there's people around who care about her and love her. That's important, you know?
Yeah, you're right, Wendy. That is important.
Yeah.
I gave Jack the numbers to use for folks to call in case they've seen the girl. He'll make the announcement at the end of the report.
Oh, great. Are we just about ready to get started?
Yes, the stage manager said any minute. Oh, I think Steffi's going to use it on the noon news, too.
Sorry, Lloyd. Good calls, though. I went by to give Lloyd
piece of my mind what they did to you in the morning edition of the Herald.
Look, I don't care what the Herald said about me as long as it helps find the kid.
Brian, we're ready.
Places, everybody. 10 seconds. Quiet on the set, please. 5, 4, 3, 2...
This is Jack Benton for Channel 6 News with an update on last night's shooting in a downtown hotel. Police are still unable to determine the whereabouts of a girl approximately 15 years old who was registered with her father at the Lombardy Hotel on West Street. She was present last night when her father, identified only as Hawkins, threatened other hotel residents with a gun. Detective Brian Emerson came on the scene and was shot by Hawkins. When Detective Emerson was forced to shoot back, Hawkins was killed as his daughter looked on. She fled, and police have been trying to locate her ever since. Detective Emerson is with us today in the hope that we can appeal to the child or anyone who might have seen her to come forward and accept help. He would like to speak with you now.
Thank you, Jack. What I'd like to do today, what I'd like to say, why I'm here, actually I'm here for a couple of different reasons. First of all, I'd like to say how sorry I am. And that it makes me very sad that at a time when what I wanted most was to see that nobody got hurt, well, somebody ended up getting hurt. And this is especially bad for a police officer because that's not what we're about. We're here to see that people don't get hurt. Look, I don't even know your name, but I saw your face, and I know how scared you must be. And I'm terribly sorry that you had to be there when such a terrible thing happened to your dad. And that nobody wanted it to happen, and certainly no one can rectify it, but please, at least let us try to talk to you. Let us get you some food or clothes, a warm place to stay. You're not alone. Even if you feel that way, you're not. So, if you're listening, and I hope you are, please call. Let us help you. Please.
Are you lonely tonight?
Looking to meet new friends to talk with?
Call 1-900-909-MATCH and listen.
As the man or woman that you desire, introduce and describe themselves.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I have
I'm 6'1", dark hair, blue eyes.
With Matchmakers, you make the choice, or leave your own introduction and receive calls from those interested in you.
Meet a new friend. You make the choice.
Call 1-900-909-MATCH. $2 for the first minute, 35 cents for each additional minute.
World War II, a global assault.
It's the most dangerous game.
Casualties abroad. Casualties at home.
You're leaving me.
A nightmare with no return.
Not me, Charlie. We're coming back.
A final solution.
Our primary target is the city of Hiroshima.
Billy Crystal, Patrick Duffy, The Men, The Mission, The Bomb, Enola Gay. A USA premiere event coming June 15th.
Jack, thanks very much. That was great, especially on such short notice.
Hey, Brian's the one who made it work.
It was beautifully done, Brian.
Well, I just hope she saw it. Joe, would you mind if we head down to the shelter now? I'd like to see if one of the kids...
Mrs. Wyatt,
Sure, I'll get...
excuse me, you have a phone call long distance from San Domingo.
Susie! Oh, for heaven's sake. Hello? Susie, is that you?
Yes. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. I've had a hard time tracking anyone down.
You've had a hard time. We've been worried to death about you. Is she all right? Are you all right, I hope?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm sorry that I didn't call before, but I got stranded in all that bad weather. I couldn't even get a flight down here until yesterday.
Yesterday? When yesterday?
Is she all right?
Yes. Susie, I'm sorry. What is it? I got in last night, and I couldn't get to court until this morning. But it's all over now. I have filed the divorce papers.
You mean you didn't file until this morning?
Yes. Is something wrong?
No. No, honey, we're just sorry about the delay.
Well, it's over now. Finally. And it's a huge load off my mind. Listen, I tried to call Aunt Jo, but she wasn't home. Would you tell her I'll be coming in tomorrow?
I'll tell her. I'll tell her. Have a safe flight, honey.
Please, could I talk to her?
Bye, dear. This morning. Joe, she didn't file for the divorce until this morning. I
begged you to tell her about the money.
I'm sorry about that, but at least I believe she's all right. When is she coming home?
Why don't you ask me what she's coming home to? To a person she despises who now gets half of her trust fund when she should have the whole thing for herself. I begged you to tell her. We wouldn't have this problem if you'd done that.
There is nothing we can do about that now, Stephanie. Please just tell me when she's coming home.
Tomorrow.
Good. I'm going to take Brian down to the shelter. You and I can discuss this some other time.
This may not be the greatest idea we ever had.
Oh, come on, are you kidding me? What a better way to get a new slant on an old story. I read your notes, you read mine. We're bound to come away with a whole different view.
Yeah, except half the time I can't read your writing.
Well, I can read yours. Look, it says here, January 10th, investigate possibility secret admirer, Slavin's killer. Remember that theory?
It wasn't a theory. It was just a passing thought. You're not going to make a big deal out of it, are you?
No, of course not. But you know, you might have had something there. I mean, Jack just might have been our man. By day, mild-mannered reporter with a great metropolitan TV station. By night, hired assassin with a mob.
Do you know what you're doing, McCleary?
What?
You are proving that tonight is going to be a terrible mistake.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry. I promise I will never mention Jack's name again. Today. The last thing I want him to do is to interfere with our evening.
Check with me later. I think there's an article I'd like to include in the late night wrap-up.
Sure thing.
Thanks for coming in later.
No problem. I'm just sorry your son has to go through all this.
So am I.
Hi, Mrs. Wyatt. I'm back and reporting for duty.
Nobody gets my kid brother.
This is your brother?
Well, it's one of them. Are you okay? They can't beat us McCleary's, right? Yeah, well, not when we're sober.